Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the meeting of the Events Committee on Tuesday, the 9th of July. Have we received any apologies?
I've received apologies from Miss Hayley Murphy.
Thank you very much. Is there any declaration of interest? Nope. And can I have a volunteer to propose we approve the minutes of the last meeting? And can I have a second? Seconded. Mary, thank you. There's no one here in public forum, is there?
No.
No, thank you very much. And on to item 6, to consider candidates to be co-opted onto the Blues Festival Advisory Committee for 24-25. Seconded. Is there any more nominations?
Am I already on it?
Yeah, you're already on it.
Just a point. It says Blues Advisory Committee.
We can ignore that. It's meant to.
It's
meant to say the Events Committee.
I'd like to propose Hayley remain. Second that. Thank you.
Just make it does.
Yeah.
Should I propose it?
Can we have a seconder for Mick, please? Thank you. Is there any more nominations at all? No, thank you very much. On to item 7. Nathan, could we have an update to the Family Fun Day, please?
So you may have seen on social media the Family Fun Day.
Sorry, can we have a vote on that, please? On item 6 on the co-opted members. All those in favour? All those against? Carried. Thank you very much.
So Family Fun Day is this Sunday in Alkin Courts Park. We've got a variety booked in for the event entertainment. Got absolutely loads going on. So we've got Bird of Prey shows, the free giant inflatable Hungry Hippo game, rodeo football, free face painting, a visit from Lancashire Fire and Rescue, a visit from Lancashire Police, Punch and Judy shows, comedy magic shows, balloon modelling. We've got the Knights coming from Warwick to do the workshops and the shows. We've got a giant deck chair. We've got the Transformers walkabout entertainment, and then on the stage we've got live music. We've got performances from Pendle Academy of Dance. We've got a Moana sing along live, which is a Disney princess for those that are looking a bit puzzled. And then we've got Taz Entertainments, which we've had for a couple of years, and it always goes down brilliantly. We've got a big market booked in with, I think there's about 46 traders booked on. All the operational provisions are in place. So the first aid, the waste management, the toilets. The town council will also be doing the bar like we did last year. We've got 2 sponsors for the event. So we've got McAdams that have kindly sponsored the event, and we've got EFS Global, which is a haulage company based in Burnley. They've agreed to sponsor the fun day. We have also looked at if England win tomorrow night, putting a big screen up in Alkin Courts Park on Sunday night for the Euros final. Where once the event finishes at 4, obviously as long as England win tomorrow night, we'll have some stage entertainment on, a bit of live music. And in that time, we'll get rid of all the other traders and get bits of the event away so that we can have tables out ready for the football. Food vendors will more than likely stay. The Fun Fair said they'll stay, and we'll also have our bar to hopefully bring in as much money as we can and make it a success. all the licenses are in place. We've got security in place so that if tomorrow night we do win, it'll be a couple of emails and everything will be in place and ready and prepared for. Has anyone any questions?
Hopefully we do win and yeah.
What time's the kick-off?
Kick-off's 8 p.m. There is a way. We was looking at different ideas whether we do it or whether we don't, and we're thinking as long as it's dry, which it's supposed to be, then people will either stay, have something to eat at the food vendors, and go on the funfair rides and watch the stage entertainment, or go on play area during the interval, we'll say, and some will go and come back. But I think as long as it's dry, people will definitely
I think
come out.
the two things that you can't rely on are England winning and the weather.
In that order.
In that order, yeah. But it'd be great if it happens. It will, yeah. As long as people aren't rowdy and because we are in, more or less the middle of a big residential area, and we don't really want any complaints, do we? But,
Cricket club normally do a big screen, don't they? And that's a big residential area as well. I don't think they really get that many complaints when they have it, obviously for the World Cup, obviously, and for the Euros. But Alice and them.
Oh, I just think it's a really fantastic thing to draw the community together. Yeah, I really would be supportive of this. And I'm assuming you've got all the security that we need in place. Yeah, I'd go for this. Really good. Yeah, let's hope they win.
Oh, sorry, Mary, and then
I was just saying, I hope it's. I hope they win, and I hope it's a good day. But I think I've just listened to Robert Thomas Shakamat. What is he called? The weatherman, and he said it's going to be dry, but it'll be cold on Sunday. So, but if they've had enough to drink, they won't feel cold, will they?
can sell ponchos.
Will you just turn your mic on, Neil? Will you just turn?
Anyway, there's something about parking because it's also a problem with the residential area. So, and we got lots and lots. I know you will have you well organised. We got lots of signs saying don't park here or park there, and that's the main thing of any event, even though all.
So we've got traffic management signs. So as you approach Vivry Way, there'll be signage to say event parking at Holt House and directional signs to show people where Holt House is for those that aren't from Colne. And then on all the side streets around the park, there'll be signage that says no event parking. And then as you approach the park, there'll be more signage. There's plenty of signage throughout the area. We've sent letters out to the residents a couple of weeks back, advising them what we're doing, when the event is. And a couple came back with some suggestions. So we've implemented those suggestions, such as putting cones on the grass verges, stuff like that. We then delivered some more letters last Friday to the residents, just as a reminder, because some of them would have just tossed it in the bin and forgot about it. We've got a steward at the entrance to the park. We've got a steward on Holt House to make sure people are parking sensibly so we can get as many cars in as possible. We've advertised all on social media that there is no parking in the park or in the surrounding side streets leading up to the park. And I'm hoping that maybe we can get a volunteer to be a steward at the bottom of Alton Coates Road to catch them before they try to get up, because some people will try still, but obviously we want to try and prevent people parking up there. We've got provisional car parking in place for traders so that we're not taking up 45 parking spots at Holt House, and Dorothy's kindly spoken to the rugby club and arranged that we can use one of the rugby pitches as well for an overflow car park if it's needed.
Excellent. Well done as always. Thank you. Apologies. Just one for you, Nathan. Do you still need me on that day?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, good.
So the Colne Grand Prix is, I think it's 9 days after the Family Fun Day, so it's a bit chaotic in the office at the minute. But the Colne Grand Prix is back on the 23rd of July. It's going to be 20 years since the first one, so 20th anniversary. All the operational elements are in place, so the security, the first aid, the traffic management, the road closure, the road cleaning, that's all in place. All the barriers have been booked, the toilet provisions have been booked, and the additional PA provisions as well for the race course. All the PR and marketing for the events ongoing as we speak. We've done photo calls with sponsors. We've got a visit on Friday to Fort Vale, who are one of the biggest main sponsor for the event. And we're doing stuff with sponsors in between just to promote the event and that the Grand Prix is back in town. We've arranged everything in the VIP area, and with it being 20 years, we've also got a photo booth for the VIP area where you can put like silly goggles on and take photos, and it's all branded with the sponsors' logos, just as an extra for them for what they're getting out of it. We've got quite a lot of sponsors for the event, which is always great. So we've got Fort Vale sponsoring the men's and the women's elite race, which the women's is a brand new one for this year. We've got Riggs Auto Pack sponsoring the Sprint for Success. We've got Coalition Facilities Management sponsoring the youth race again, and then Hope Technology have kindly sponsored the first aid and the banner printing. Diana Asda has very kindly donated bottles of water for the volunteers, bits of food for the volunteers, packed lunches, and flowers for the awards as well. And then we've got loads of local sponsors throughout the town, including Belwoven, David Fishwick, Roger Worley, Pendle Leisure Trust, Duke Lancaster. The list goes on and on and on. And then McAdams as well have kindly agreed to be the barrier sponsor for the Grand Prix, which has contributed towards the cost of the barriers because they're not cheap. We've sent letters out to sponsors and councillors and VIPs with your tickets in as well. So if you are available, please do come along for a great night of racing. So I've been round with Simon Bucknell. We've reported some. I've got another walk round next week to do a final walk round. And then they've also provided us with some bag of pothole filler so that when we close the road at 1:30, those that are deemed dangerous by the team at British Cycling, we can fill to make sure the event goes ahead. But the ones we report next week, they said they'll make sure they get done in preparation for the event.
Yeah, thank you, Nathan, and all the team for all the hard work of putting together this event. I've just got one or two things that I'd like to ask. Will there be recycling bins and waste bins separate in the VIP area? Because last year it was just a case of putting everything into one container. So if we can have one that's specifically for cans and bottles and plastic glasses, that'd be brilliant. And then one for just food waste and things like that.
We'll do one better. We'll have 2 general waste bins and 2 recycling bins.
Perfect. And I noticed that you mentioned about sending letters out. Last time we talked about the cost of sending letters out. I mean, it's great that I received this in the morning today, but it's got 2 seconds class stamps on, and it's in a large envelope, and it just has these two things. I could have come and collected those. And again, you said about sending residents letters to remind them about no parking. I think we just discussed last time that councillors could go out and leaflet. We do so much leafleting over election times with sometimes pointless leaflets. We could do that. And I'd just like to know what cost we have incurred with all the postage over the last month for events.
So the reminder letters to residents was hand delivered.
Brilliant.
So
Thank you.
that one's a weight lifted off your shoulders. Those letters for the Grand Prix, they technically didn't cost us anything because we bought the stamps last financial year.
So you
Which
just
is why
using
using
them
them.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason they're in the A4 envelopes is because when we've sent them to sponsors, because of how many VIP tickets they get, they wouldn't all fit in a small envelope. So we just did it that way, and then we knew everyone had got them. And like I said, it didn't technically cost us anything for the postage.
Thank you.
We could have picked them up at the full council, like we're supposed to do with our papers. We could have picked these up the night before.
We wanted to give you as much notice as possible because the full council's only a week before. So by giving you them 2 weeks before, none of you's have got an excuse.
You don't think we know when it is then?
Not all councils will.
Can I just pick up on the minutes? It did say events officer to investigate signage for the VIP area to promote low or no alcohol drinks.
It's still ongoing. There will be signage. I'm just. We have had some signage created to promote the low alcoholic drinks that we have available, but we're just tweaking them slightly. But we will have some signage up to show what low and no alcoholic drinks we do have available. So Halloween will be here before we know it, believe it or not. So this year, as we mentioned previously, we're going for a Harry Potter theme event. So we've got a variety of entertainment booked in, such as broomstick training, spell casting, potion making, Quidditch training. We've got axe throwing. We've got owls that you can hold for free. So instead of paying, you can hold them for free. We've got a Harry Potter Town Trail. We've got face painting as normal, Harry Potter themed craft activities in the library. We've got a Harry Potter photo wall, so people, once they've done the trail and they collect like a cape and a wand and a pair of glasses and whatever else, they can then have a photo with a photo wall and it looks like they're going through the wall at 9 3/4. And we've got a bit of stage entertainment, so we've got a Harry Potter show, then we've got live music, and then we've got a Harry Potter magic show as well. We've got fun fair rides coming to town, and we'll also be holding a market, which I think there's about 42 stalls booked on for that event. But all the operational elements are in place for the first aid, the waste management, and the traffic management as well. Everything's pretty much done. It'll just be a case of close to the time promoting and marketing the event.
Just with the trail, I know it gets said every time, but when they're collecting stuff on the trail, can we have something at the back of the arcade as well? You know, so they've got to go all the way in to get it, just so that them guys benefit from it as well.
We do normally put something in Pendle Kitchen. What dates do you need? 26th. So, same as last meeting, everything's in place for the Remembrance Parade. So the first aid's in place, traffic management's in place. We've got the PA system on the back of the quad. AB Brass Band have now been booked. We've got the wreath ready for the actual service. I'm still waiting to hear back from Steve, the bagpiper, but I'm not too concerned because he always comes in the week before, even though I spoke to him March before. So we'll class it as he's booked. And then West Riding Hyundai have also agreed to sponsor the poppies that were put up around the town as well, which has helped towards the cost of the event. But everything's in place for it as normal.
Have we contacted the parade marshal?
So I've spoken to Adam and I've spoken to Tony because Mary sent me a track a couple of weeks back to see if we could get a new track for the parade. I've sent it to Adam and he's discussing with Tony what the best route is to go down. I think they're going to get an official track from someone they know, but I've not had anything back. But we've had a chat about what we've done and what we've got in place, and everything's paired with them too as well.
Oh, good, thank you.
I just want to ask Nathan if the wreath can be a decent one, because everybody else's wreath, you could hook your hand over, but the one we had, you had to sort of carry it a bit like that, you know, a bit cheap and cheerful. Yeah.
I think
so something with like something that, because when you're walking down, you want to have it there so that people can see rather than you sort of hanging on to a bit of a petal or something. You know.
I think we've upgraded from the one that we bought last year, so I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure it's yeah.
Very much. Howard.
As well as the crest in the middle, maybe some words to say, you know, from the town council. Just, I'm trying to remember, you know, like the fire brigade ones is from Lancashire Fire and Rescue. Just rather than just the crest.
So I put on it from Colne Town Council.
On behalf.
On behalf.
Yeah.
Onto the Christmas lights switch on.
So we've got a bit of an update for Christmas. So previously we've used the Funhouse or Ernie's to do our Christmas market, which worked great last year because it wasn't as much pressure on the staff and it could all be set up 2 weeks before and it didn't have to be taken down till 2 weeks after. And it was really busy, probably too busy, as Craig would say, which we was going to do it again in the Funhouse this year. We'd pretty much sold it all out and moved stuff around so that it could flow around easily without queues from Santa's Grotto. However, the Funhouse have now pulled out of the Christmas market. So we've spoken with the insurers, we've spoken with our gazebo supplier, and just to get some recommendations on what we can do, because myself and Gina didn't think it would be right to have a Christmas event, a Christmas lights switch on, and not have a market. So we've invested in additional gazebo weights. We are borrowing the traditional market stalls from Barn Oldswick, and we're going to have the market run up the high street like we did back in 2021 when we had a lot of wind. But all the gazebos will be triple weighted, so they'll all have 220 kilogram on, and then they'll all be clamped together and ratchet strapped together to make it so it's pretty much unmovable. We've contacted the traders to let them know that unfortunately the Funhouse isn't available, but this is what we're going to do, and we've given the traders the option. If you don't want to trade outside, that's fine. We'll give you a refund, and we've basically said just let us know. As obviously, if we have stalls become available, we can sell them before everyone else jumps on the light switch on traders. With that being said, there's 60 traders booked on. So we feel it's going to be better to close the road on the Friday evening, let the tea time traffic get through, close the road around about 6:30, 7 o'clock, get a team in on the Friday night to build the market, put all the gazebos and the traditional market stalls up, get the funfair rides in, get the stage in, and have security on overnight, because that'll take pressure off the staffing team, especially with it being such a long day. And then in the morning, all that would be really to do is rig the stage with the sound and lighting and get traders in. So we've priced it all up, and it's not that much more expensive. Obviously, there's a cost of security and the team on the Friday night, but we have got it in budget. So we've sorted all that out so that we can have a Christmas market and we can do it safely. And obviously, we've told traders that we will be watching the weather in the build up to the event, because if in the unfortunate circumstances it's predicting winds or whatever, we can then prepare and let them know so they can jump onto other events so no one's missing out. So that's that for the Christmas market. But for the rest of the event, all the operational elements are booked. So first aid, security, the road closure, traffic management, waste management, and then all the stage has been booked. We've gone for a bigger stage this year. So last year we had a 6x5, this time we've got an 8x6, which the guys have been out, measured up, and it fits, and it's only slightly bigger, but it'll work a little bit better. We've got the stage crew booked, we've got the LED screen booked for the back of the stage, which worked really well last year for getting sponsors on board. And then we've got the rodeo reindeer, giant inflatable snow globe, snowboard simulator, donkey rides, Christmas craft activities. We've got visits from the Grinch and Cindy Lou. We've got the Christmas fairies. We've got Accrington Pipe Band opening the event. We've got a choir on outside the market or the building site at the moment. We've got free letter writing, where children can write a letter to Santa and they'll get a reply about a week later. Free face painting. We've got a Christmas peat board, so like when you go to the seaside and put your face in the hole, it's like that, but it's Christmas themed. And then we've got Olaf from Frozen coming for a meet and greet, as well as the Elf on the Shelf. Everything's booked for the parade. The Santa we had last year, the one that everyone thought was a real Santa and is the real Santa, isn't available. So we've found an alternative Santa that comes with elves to do. It won't be Neil. To run the Free Santa's Grotto, because obviously the town council bought a grotto and we still want to put a grotto on. So we've got all that covered. And the Santa will also lead the session like normal. We've got some more torches, and we make sure that exactly like last year with security throughout, with stewards and everyone prepared with my annoying voice constantly reminding people, hold your torches up right. We're almost there. On the stage, we've got a variety of entertainment from local dance schools, local performing art groups, and then we've got live music. We've got an interactive elf show where the kids all get involved to create enough Christmas magic to send the elves back to the North Pole. We've got an interactive Grinch show. We've got a Frozen sing-along live. And then our headliners for this year, we've got Jack Rhodes, who's a magician. He came second on Britain's Got Talent this year. And then we've also got Anthony Cotton, or Sean from Coronation Street as well. And then the fireworks have been booked too. Funfair's in place, and McAdams have kindly agreed to sponsor the event alongside Farmhouse Biscuits, and then Diana Astor has kindly agreed to donate some selection boxes as well to the grotto. And all that's really left to do is all the promotion running up to the event. But I think I'll show up now. No.
In theory, could we have stalls in here?
The problem with having stalls in here, you can only have 80 people in here at any one time due to the fire eggs. And if you had a market in here and your event's up there, people aren't going to walk down here. And if they do, then they're not walking back up till the end. Whereas if having everything centralised, you're going to keep people there all day
I'm
long.
going to suggest here for the grotto as well, like the old mayor's room in there, call it Santa's room or something, have a door plaque on there. And
I don't think the grotto will fit in there because it's a big inflatable that we've got. So I think the town hall's a bit too far out to keep everyone there all day long.
Right, first thing, I am so glad you're going to have a Christmas market outside. Because when it was just magic when you had it on both sides and people walking down. Yeah, it was. Because I was thinking, you know, like the wooden cabins, but obviously we can't have 60 wooden cabins, can we? But
Do you know how much they are?
I don't know that a lot, that's what I mean. But I've also put more substantial weights. So, you know, either them wooden cabins or gazebos with more substantial weight. Can I just ask, is it the same person who's doing the PR and everything?
For the Christmas lights switch on?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's me.
Yeah. Eh?
It's me, so yeah.
Is that other fella that came last year doing it? No, the fella that came last year that does the pub ball one.
I don't know who you mean. You mean the stage
She
show?
means the MC.
Oh, yeah, Gavin's book,
Gavin.
yeah.
Well, can you let Gavin have a spot to get everybody singing? He's absolutely brilliant. And he only did it one little song, but he has like about half an hour where he'll have them all dancing and jumping up and down. He's really good.
He said he's going to fill throughout the day, so if there's any gaps in between, he'll fill. And obviously, when we come to the evening and it's busy, he's going to, similar to what he did last year, interact, do a couple of songs, walk through the crowd and interview people. So he won't have a slot dedicated just for him to sing and interact. He'll just do it all throughout the day.
Okay.
So I mentioned this before, and it doesn't really matter which event you do it at, but I think I really like to see a Pride of Cone. You know, so sort of like person of courage, young carer, or whatever. You know, and it's little trophy, big caveat. It's an half an hour filler on stage. You know, and I just think it'd be a really good community thing to do.
Yeah, it would.
probably what we do, like open up like nominations, put it out on like social media.
Yeah, you just put it out on Facebook for nominations, and then there could be a little subsection of people for this committee to make that decision, or unless anyone's got an idea of who should adjudicate it. But yeah, I'd be quite happy to, sponsor some of the trophies as well. So I'm sure people would want to sponsor it anyway.
It's a great idea. The only problem we might have this year is where do we fit it in? Because the event runs 12 till 7. And last year we were still setting up when the event started, which is why we pushed it back from 11 to 12. We might be able to fit it in at 11:30 until 12, but I think it might be a bit tight to get it all in with everything else being booked. But what do the committee think?
It's a good idea, but it doesn't have to be at the Christmas one, does it? Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's
What about at the AGM meeting in May?
Even better.
Because that way people are coming together to hear about what the council are doing as well. I think Barnolds would do something similar.
Yeah.
The other option is, what about Kongala?
We actually gave the community a while, but yeah, by all means, I mean, the whole ball is 75 years old.
So if we look at adding an element to an event that's Pride of Colne, and we'll see where we can fit it in, and have a bit of a half an hour award ceremony.
Well, I agree. Let's just find an event, and it's about. But we'll have to decide when it is, because then we'd have to get nominations for that, for when it's going to be, won't we?
Yeah, so I was thinking about, yeah, good age. So
I was thinking about the market and the layout. At one point, we were talking about putting the stalls back to back, so they're facing outwards, so that people can see the ordinary shops on the other side. I don't know whether that's possible, so that the stalls are in the middle rather than the people going into the middle. And you get
Yeah, because you can't allow so many people.
We looked at it for Easter, because obviously back in 2021, beginning of 2022, there were a couple of concerned business owners that was concerned about people seeing the shops, affecting footfall. So we looked at it at Easter. The problem we've got is the gazebo's 3 meters wide. So if you have them back to back, you've got 6 meters. There's not enough room for people to walk around because of the curbs. It creates a trip hazard, which is why we put the gazebo back against the curb to remove that trip hazard. What we did at Easter, we left gaps so that people could see what businesses were there. And at Easter, when we had the market running down the street, the back behind the gazebos were packed. Either sides, down the middle were packed. So if we do it the same at Christmas, I can't see there being any reason why any business can complain, because they're getting more footfall than what they would if there were nothing there anyway.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, Craig, I'll make a comment and then I'll ask a question. Craig and I talked about a lot of things. Well, Craig, Emma and I talked about a lot of things the other day, and that was one of them. I'd forgotten all about it. The Pride of Colne, and there's always ways around this where we could print out a little thing, leave them in the shops and one thing another, entry form, nomination form. You know, it wouldn't take a lot to do that. Just get them in the shops, have them here, put it on social media, pick up your entry form, your nomination form from wherever, or town hall, or just, you know, do it on social media. So I think it's a really good, we were quite excited about it actually, and it's Craig's idea to do that. I don't think we've ever done that in Colne, have we, Neil?
I'll tell you what I'll mention.
All right, and my question is, and I ask this every year.
No.
Right, okay. I want to hear Katy Perry's fireworks when the fireworks are going off. Now, I ask this every year and he says no.
I'll agree to that, no.
I think it's brilliant. Anyway, yeah, all right.
Well, so 2 things. We'll talk about the Pride first. So in my first month of being mayor of Pendle, I give awards out to different organisations like the Fire Brigade and CIAG and that sort of thing. And they were quite good actually. But that was at my memorial. So we can do this. It's a good idea actually, and we should do it. But it's just the nomination form, that's run of the mill. It's finding an event to present them. And then obviously somebody has to collate all the information and then pick the winner and then invite the winner and their families to an event. So a good place in here is a good place. I know you said about councillors, but not a council meeting, a presentation of Pride of Cole.
Yeah.
In here with some light music, some refreshments, the mayor, the chairman of the council, the event chairman, and fill this room. And the people that are coming here, they know they've won because you don't want to hear somebody a third place or a second place. Just you send them a letter saying you've won your section, your young carer of the year in Cone. So you could do it not on stage, but you can do it in here and have a really good event. I've had a couple of Jeff Cranberry's nomination for his Pride of Cone.
Freedom.
Yeah, and it was full in here. It was really, really good. So it's a good idea, and this is the perfect venue with some light music and some refreshments and all the dinners we can get here, and lots of photographs. It's a good idea. We can do it.
Can I reply to that before we go off the subject? Yeah, you're right, Neil, because we used to have the Colne in Bloom Awards in here. We still do, but it was a big affair. I don't know whether it still is. And same, the town hall was packed with all the award winners, and they all came dressed up. Now they might not do that at an event outside, but they all made an effort. They all came dressed up, and we had a buffet on, and this and the other. And they are special events if they are held in here. They are.
May I come on to that? So when the Jeff Cranberry, all the tables are out. This is an excellent backdrop. For it. For the awards. You know what I mean? So they get a camera. It's a really good event, and it's warm and it's inside, and the people getting awards are front and centre. Whereas on a stage, people will be talking and that sort of. But in here, it's all focused.
It's all
on
about
the winners.
that, isn't it?
And you could even do a video of this is the
live stream.
Samuel, young carer of the year. You could have a little video of him doing his whatever, and then do the award. That'd be really good. We video what the people's done, and then give them the award.
That's excellent.
So it sounds like a plan, if you know what I mean. And because we don't have to do it tomorrow, we can make it work really well.
Yeah.
I haven't finished yet. Yeah, sorry. So this references the stalls. I know what you're saying and I understand it. So there's two things that I want to mention. The first thing is obviously back to back, the curb is there, and it's just a nightmare, and it's going to happen. Someone's going to fall over a curb. So I'd like to run with your plan where it's that. But I'd also like to. I'm not a business person in the town, but I just want to see. When we'll just take the Chinese, the Thai shop. I wouldn't like to see the Thai shop and then a Thai food stall facing, right with it. So if we separate them as much as we can, I think that would really work because the business is here all year round. So I wouldn't like to take anything away from it. It's like when the bid put the food court on, it takes a lot away from the cafes, a lot. And the bid is supposed to be helping the business in Cone. I don't think we should do anything, a Chinese store with a Chinese shop, if you know what I mean. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. One thing that nobody seems to have mentioned that's come up at previous meetings in the past on these, especially something like the Christmas event where you've got a lot of children who have been encouraged to take part in it, is children with special needs and to have a designated quiet, safe area. And I was thinking somewhere like Cone Citadel, as it's actually in the heart of it, it's very close, and to have it signposted. It's okay saying, yes, we've got that spot, but if nobody knows where it is, apart from the councillors and staff, yeah, so I mean, that sort of signposted, I think that would go, be a big help to a lot of parents.
What I can do is, I'll go and speak with Haley and see if we can arrange that as like a side thing, obviously to our event. I'll speak with Haley and see if she can set it up for us.
Well, obviously Haley's co-opted on, so she'll be here at the next meeting. And in that time, I can have a look at what activities we can put on there, so that they're not just going to a room with tables and chairs. They're going out of the way where they can still participate in the event in some sort of way.
About the kids, you know, I understood that the Sure Start people were going to be doing. I understood that the Sure Start building, that the people work there were offering to do something.
Well, I thought it was the library that were going to do it as well. Don't know.
But it was a meeting in Nelson Town Hall that they said that the Sure Start Centre was going to try and be, you know, if somebody approached them, they'd do it, because they have all that twinkly stuff, don't they?
Sensory
stuff and everything. I don't know, but so that's that. So that's two options. But also about the Pride of Colne, I hear what you say, and it will be lovely here. But also, I think it's a big event, because the only people who come here are the people that are interested and of, you know, like. But if you have like a volunteer of the year, or Colne in Bloom volunteer for the year, or waste picking up person who does a lot of things for Colne pickup organisation, and that's the only people you'll get here, isn't it? But if you do it at a big event in the town, there'll be people there who've never heard of half of these things, and it might help them think, oh, I could get involved in that organisation. So I think it would be good here, but I also think there could be a spin-off. You'll get more volunteers if you do it at a big event.
Sorry, I've got two things I want to say. When I think of Pride of Colne, today it has a different idea when you say Pride of Colne. I just wondered whether we wanted to call it something different than Pride. So that's something to put out. I don't know whether anybody else thinks the same as that. I hadn't really thought about it, but yeah.
Can we?
Yeah, I think the reason I said Pride of Colne, I understand what you're saying, is because the sort of, you're on the back of like, there's Pride of Pendle, there's Pride of Britain, you know, and they're already award sort of things that are already doing what we're suggesting, but for Colne. But
yeah, we could.
I'm not bothered about the name. It's just the idea that I think it's a good idea. So, you know, whatever anybody wants, really.
Right, we are getting a bit away from the Christmas. What I suggest we do the next events committee, we have a separate agenda for, obviously, Pride of Colne was like set it up as a standalone event where we can process it, discuss things, and we can come to an agreement of where we can host it. I think obviously the town hall would be a brilliant idea, because obviously we can conference circumstance, but we've had events obviously here for neighbourhood plan where I think that went quite well. We had quite a lot of people here with pipes, drinks, and we have other events here. I think this would be a more appropriate place. So.
Yeah, can I suggest that to go forward that we set up a small working group? Yeah.
Working group,
Yeah. Well, say 3 or 4 people.
I think best way to move forward with this is if we put it on for items for future month's agenda, and then we'll bring it back and we can all have a detailed discussion on where we can hold it, what it's going to involve, because obviously there's different venues, whether you do it at an event, you do it at the town hall, you could do it at the Muni, the Hippodrome, There's
Let's put it
depending on how big you want to go, would depend on where you hold it. There's loads of stuff you can do to get members of the public in, not just those that are winning an award. There's loads of stuff we can look at. But if we put it on for items for a future month's agenda, and then
I think we put it on the agenda and we make sure that it happens. I wouldn't want to keep talking about it and talking about it, you know. I think it's a great idea, but we just need to know now where to hold it and just how you know what the format's going to be, how we're going to do it. It's as simple as that.
That's something we'll decide we'll decide that next week. So we can properly discuss that. Before we just move on to item 12 about the Con Gala. Myself, Nathan, Dorothy, and Mick, we all attended a meeting. And Neil, sorry, it's Neil. We all attended an impromptu, unofficial meeting about the gala a couple of weeks back. Yeah, on the 13th of 15th. 22nd. Thank you for that, mate. Where
But it wasn't minuted. So
it wasn't minuted, so I just want to make the committee aware that it was like an unofficial meeting where concerns were obviously raised about the pictures, and obviously that's something that we're going to discuss now. Obviously, Mick does great work on that. He's got some great ideas on how we can prevent that, and obviously with Nathan as well, I think we can solve any problems or any concerns residents do have.
So obviously the FES agreed to take over the running of the gala from 2025, and this year we worked alongside the Con Gala just to get a feel of how the events run and also help them with traders and a couple of other bits. And this unofficial meeting was called, which involved some councillors, the football club, officers from Pendle, and the meeting weren't really necessary. It was pretty pointless, to be honest with you, because it was all about what damage has been done to the grass. The week building up to the gala, it rained on the Sunday, the Monday, and then nothing went on the grass until it was dry. And it was dry for the rest of the week. Odd shower here and there, but not going to really do much. On the Saturday, it didn't stop raining. Everyone was soaked through right to their underwear. So the only option we had was to get the rides off as we could. And obviously the damage was done, but Mick's probably been camping up there, making sure it's back into probably a better condition than what it were in the first place. So this meeting was called, and it was all about if there was alternative venues for the gala. There were suggestions of Alton Courts Park, King George playing fields, the town centre, and ultimately at the end of the meeting it was said that the town council's taking it on from 2025. We're going to be working closely with Mick to make sure that the gala continues, and we're going to invest to make sure it's a success year on year and improve it year on year. And we all came to the conclusion that as long as that land is right a couple of weeks after the gala and that it doesn't affect the football club's training, then why did it matter with the damage that was done as long as it was rectified and it didn't cost Pendle? So we are looking at different ways on how we can prevent the damage. There were suggestions of a false road like they use on construction sites. There were suggestions of having the big rides on the car park, the smaller rides on the grass, because they're not going to cause much damage or any damage. So there's different things we're looking at to prevent damage in future years. I don't think you'll eliminate the damage, but obviously we can look at preventing it the best we can. And that obviously the town council would have a contingency pot set aside as part of the events budget that were money to get the land back right. And like I said, it wouldn't affect the football club or Pendle. So it's going to full council next week for a discussion on what the town council want to do, because ultimately the town council want the event to happen. They want the gala to continue, but they want to make sure it's done right and prevent the damages. So that's pretty much all it is for now. It's just a bit of an update on what's been happening behind the scenes, and that we are working hard to make sure that the gala continues, and it will continue.
First of all, obviously a little bit of background. 75 years of the gala. It's amazing. It's history. We had the last gala parade, because we visit other towns as well, 5 other different towns. We did our last one on Saturday at Oakworth, and those memories will last in them children's minds forever. I had a lady come up to me 35 years ago. She was the Queen here, and 35 years ago, she still got a sash. Unbelievable. So there's a lot of history. As for Mick, works his socks off. He gets very frustrated, and rightly so. When people suggest we should bring it into the town, I'll come to that in a minute, but Mick's been around all this town, and he's tested the ground. He has to, it's his job, insurances and things like that. He can't go anywhere without him being 100% sure that the ground will take it. Now, the ground up there has had the Cone Gala on it, not for 75 years, because it used to be in the park, but ever since it's been on the football ground. After the event, the fields are immaculate. They're not good. They're immaculate. Like you just said there, it's better when it went on there. So Mick works his socks out about a week, 10 days, even more, putting it right. So there's no need to move it. Somebody suggested we move it into the town. I've yet to find an area we can have an arena in the town centre. I just can't see one. There's too many events really in the town centre. We've got our events. We are fantastic all at certain times, and you've got the bid that shut the roads off. The last one was the Soapbox Challenge. Was there any complaints about that?
We've had quite a few complaints on.
Quite a few complaints. I was at a meeting last night, and I was told that there were no complaints. No, never mind, anyway, it's different. But what I'm saying is, putting events on in the town centre, the gala wouldn't work in the town centre at all. We have a 40-minute rolling roadblock, and then we're away. So the town centre is still free. People do come here and spend money before, during, and after the event. The thing. And then, if they want, they can go up to the field. So moving it is, in my eyes, a no, a definite no. No. So long may the gala last, and long may it be on the field up there. The football, at our meeting, the football people were happy. The groundsman at Pendleborough Council were happy. Mick was happy. The people that really matter all agreed that Mick does a good job, and when it's finished, it's done properly. So I don't see an issue. Yes, there is going to be damage to the field, but it's always put right. So thank you very much.
What Neil says about putting it right is like, even today I've been up and reseeded everything twice. So quicker the grass grows, the quicker grief won't be as bad. We don't hold the event to damage anything, but at the end of the day, it's soil and grass. I can't order sunshine every year. I'd love to everybody's event, but it's not just Colne, it's everywhere, all around Lancashire and Yorkshire. I go to events every weekend, sometimes 2 different ones in a weekend, and every town and village has had a disaster. So we're not on our own, but I'm a clever lad in one way. That ground will be perfect when it'll be in better condition than when I found it, which every year I video it to see the damage. we can only hold the gala within the 3rd week of June because of all the others. Skipton, Tomedin, each town has a different weekend, and each variation of different things going to, and the fun fair travel to each one. That's the living, and has been for 150 years. Now, I don't want it to stop, and I don't want them to lose their living. They donated into the funds every year. Even this year, when the job were over and done with at 1:30, they still donated. Now, yes, rides are getting dearer. The expense of it's getting more expensive, the insurance and everything. But they come year after year after year to put an event on and entertainment for the people of Colne. All different ages, young, old. You know, we try and say, well, if you mentioned, you know, like disabled people, they don't like to be around a bit of noisy fair. So sometimes we put a bit of stuff on top so that it's not banging in the red and upsetting people, because we do have disabled. I have an autistic grandchild, and he can't stand banging. So sometimes it's not just to have the big fair and bang, but we have other entertainment within the stuff. All takes a lot of planning, which the Sound Council's going to find out in this. It's an handful, you know, but suiting everybody else is hard as well. Now, with the football people, they want it for themselves. I understand that, but there are 3 other pitches there, and all the last 3 weeks I've been there every day, and at tea time as well, and just after tea, and I'm thinking, well, everybody's complained about it, but they're all playing football and all training on it. The ground can't get better fast enough. But when they keep kicking the soil around where I'm put down, my seeds are going everywhere, and the birds are having a party. They think it's Christmas. They think it's turkey time. You know what I mean? Even today, if I told you 10 bags of seeds gone on that ground, so when it does come through, it's going to be a beautiful piece of grass. So I don't intend to do it next year, year after, and do. If I'd have seen it 4 days before the event, we had a bit of rain on the Thursday. It drains really well. It's big enough for the event. We can't hold it anywhere. I'm not just saying that, and I don't want it to go. But I have tried other places, and it just doesn't work. It does work up there. Unfortunately, there's 70-80% of the football people think it shouldn't be there. Now, to me, I live in Colne. My family live in Colne. It's an area for children and adults. You know, even dog walkers are there every day. You know what I mean? They make it useful for dog walking. But at the same time, it's for people of Colne, not just one selection of Colne people. You know what I mean? So we've got to please everybody in the roundabout way. You know what I mean? If somebody comes up with a fantastic idea, I'll think about it and think, well, let's go and try it out. Let's go and do that. But I've been to the other place. Somebody's mentioned Skipton Road. The access is horrendous, you know, and to set some of the fancy houses up there, and I'm not saying the cheaper houses up there, but the access is easier up there and it is up there. I mean, I've got to go through cross grass verges and everything else. If I come off Skipton Road, I've measured it all out. I've been with Fun Fair people. We've measured it. It's doable, but it's hard work. But what's underneath there? Does anybody know in this room what were tipped there 50, 60 years ago? Does anybody know what's underneath that ground? I have no idea. And up to now, I can't get plans off everybody. I've got the plans for that field up there. I know where all the drains are. I know where all the cables are. I know where what is, you know, some people don't even know there's an underground tunnel underneath that land, but I know it's there. And I found it about 25 years ago when a wagon went down it. So I am self-employed as a mobile caterer and an ice cream salesman, but I do a lot of events all over the country. I do it 52 weeks a year. You know, I very rare have an holiday. I don't drink. No, but I organize, as they say, the fair owner, the fair right holder. I own the rights to the fair in Colne, which I got 40 odd years ago. It's well, there's Marshall Waddingtons, there's Michael Cowies, there's John Breezers, there's Craig Harrison's, Scott Harrison's. These are all different families, but they come under my banner because let's not take it the funny way, but I know what the buggers are up to or what they're after. They always will have another 10 foot. We'll have another 10 foot. We'll go bigger. Every year I have between two fields, and that's where I put the base of the roundabouts and the base of the trucks. I try to keep off the football pitches, but I've got to get on and I've got to get off. But I've dealt with council for years, and we just have this place here where you've two pitches here, and this in the middle here is where I put mainly stuff. I go on to corner at goals, but the base, that's the heaviness, is within there. When it's all packed up, it's got to go that way off the bottom or that way on the top. And unfortunately, well, if you were about Incong, you knew how much it rained. But I've got videos. Just 1 minute, Neil. But I've got pictures of some problems which we can maybe sort out for next year, where on the water on the car park runs into the field, where if there were a little drain dug out and let it go onto the road and go down the road, that would save a lot of gallons of water. Plus, the water off the football club isn't into any drains whatsoever. It comes, years ago, they were having a problem with water on the football ground. So what they did, they put a troughing on off the roofs. Now, it's so many square metres and it's as bad as a football pitch. So there's gallons of water comes off every minute. The video I've got is the water coming down straight onto that road, which runs straight onto the banking and goes straight into the football field. If it hadn't rained that day, that water wouldn't have been on that field, and it'd have been home sailing. But unfortunately, every 8 years we seem to get a very, very wet weekend. Oh yes, yes. But why would you go on a beach so far and not watch the tide come in? They do it 7 days a week, yeah. And you know how much that ice cream van were? £155,000 plus VAT. That's how much that ice cream van cost. Whitby Morris made it down in Cheshire. So yeah.
Thanks for that, Victor. I can say that we're not going to move where the fair is. It's going to stay where it is. The gar's going to stay where it is. Thank you very much for your hard work over the years and hopefully for the years.
It's not finished. It's not finished yet. It's not. It needs a couple of more ton of soil, which hopefully in the next 5 to 6 days, and that should be level. It's come to, the grass were coming through, but it weren't coming through strong enough. So the best thing it's gone in with a machine today. We've lifted the soil and we've thrown more seed in. So she's going to be a lovely piece of grass when I finished.
Sorry,
Thank you. Actually, question's been answered. I was going to say about shifting the date, but as you've pointed out, there's so many events and you've got to dovetail in that I'm not going to ask that question. Yeah. Yeah. That's, I'm not going to ask that question because, yeah.
That's one I'm off with. And then we'll come to goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're all there. Keep the goal up. Yeah.
I think we should get the members of the committee to do the sunshine dance on the day before. Yeah, yeah. So we'll get all the councillors together on the upper Talking courts and we'll all do the sunshine dance.
Thank you very much for that. Have we received an update from the bid at all?
No, not received anything. I'm guessing with the bid manager no longer being co-opted onto the committee that we can take that off as a standing item.
Thank you.
I would just want to know, I mean, I don't know, Neil, do you know who's on the bid board? So we can get some, working something.
Off the top of the head, say, David Saber, Ashley, Kieran,
Are they all?
We just looked at this and it's just, we've looked at the bid directors.
They're all,
And
they're
there's
all
just
borough
two of them.
councils. Sorry?
There's just two of them. And one's Sarah and one's.
No, they're all, okay, but they're all,
Well, they all must be members then.
have you looked to regulate?
Sorry.
Have you looked to regulate?
No.
They,
Yeah.
it's like marking my own table with my own desk.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. Obviously, on to items for the future agenda. Also, got the Pride of Colne Awards. Has anybody else got any items they'd like to put on?
Yeah, I mentioned it last time about celebrating St George's Day. Will that be coming on to as an item within the near future? Because it's something I feel quite passionate about. That we've let it slide over the years, and it seems to be the one important day that we seem to have just forgotten about. And I think that's wrong. That we really, though we shouldn't. Obviously, we can't have a parade, a big event. We should make that day special by encouraging, for example, shops having our national flag flying, and just promote Pride of Britain, Pride of England. Yeah, Pride of England. You know, St George's Day, and just push that pride of our country. You know, other countries do it, so why shouldn't we?
Did we not say that because it's normally a couple of days or a week after the Easter event, that's where the difficulty came into?
Yeah, that's the idea of not actually putting a major event on, but still to encourage, because you can still have the shops putting window displays, you can still have the flags up the main road, you know, across the St George, and basically try to sort of get people aware that this is our national day and we should be proud of it.
So it's more decorating the town
Yeah.
and getting the shops involved.
Yeah. You know, let's say making the public aware this is our national day and we should be proud of our country.
Thank you very much. Dorothy?
I sort of partly agree with what you're saying, Ian, but I don't think you can push it onto people. You have to be proud of your.
Well, I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? You can't.
Yeah, but then look at all the pubs on St Patrick's Day. They're making a great lot of profit out of pushing Pride of Ireland, aren't they? You know, wear green, have the shamrock. Yeah. St Andrews, everybody pushes their national day in this country except the English. As soon as you mention St George's Day.
We do, just not in this town.
Exactly.
When you do it in Barnoldswick.
Yeah, we should be in this town. We should be proud of being English.
Sorry, I think this should probably go to full council. I don't think it's really an event. I think it should be a motion on the full council meeting where we can all get together and discuss how, as a town, we can celebrate it. It's not like one individual event that this committee can organise and arrange. I think this item probably should go to full council.
I'm just thinking, if it's decorating the town and getting the shops involved, is it classed as an event? And then would it come to the events committee or would we take it to full council?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we can obviously you can ask. You can.
So if I ask the town clerk to put it on the full council agenda, it won't be this month, it'll probably be next month now. And then, right.
I have been involved in St George's celebrations in Burnley and Barnoldswick, no longer in Barnoldswick and no longer in Burnley. And it seems like anything else, they disappear. The Morris Dance Day, when did we have a last Morris Dance poll in this town? Does anybody know? I'm 62. Yeah. I do every night when I get home.
A pole, Dorothy, you danced around the pole, not the main.
Yeah, it fell off ceiling last week, didn't it? But you know the Easter thing. I know it's an Easter bunny time and all that lot. But what's what is the time difference between the St George's weekend or time and the Easter thing?
It's
And bring it in a bit with it.
it's normally a couple of days a week. This year they're about 2 weeks difference, maybe 3 weeks. So
This year were. Because
Yeah.
at Leap. Yeah. There's nothing wrong in it. At the end of the day, we're proud, you know, we're British. You know what I mean? We need to fly the flag. Simple as. No, but because it's not in the classroom, is it? Is it in the classroom? Are they taught different? You know what I mean? Hmm?
Council.
Just before we wrap it all up, I just wanted to say how amazing the event by the Waterside Action Group were. It was outstanding. Sunsplash were group. The security were brilliant. The entertainment were brilliant. There were no trouble. They were absolutely amazing. And obviously you got the weather, so I think you did it for Colin.
Obviously, congratulations to Alice on her event that she carried off successfully, and the Waterside Action Group. Thank you very much for that.
I'd also like to include Pat Carr and Leslie Bond
Leslie.
and also Natty Carr as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What we'll do is we're going to bring this meeting to a close. The next meeting will be on the 10th of September. Thank you, everyone, for attending.